does that so he can sync the cameras up because he's got two cameras. One's a far shot and one's a tighter shot, so that when I do this, I can cut. Because we're going to have this much conversation, and I'll use just a little bit in the piece. So not everything that you say will necessarily make the.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, so let's first start with your name. Say it and then spell it, just so that I have it on tape.
Okay. My name is Angela Taylor Nelson. Angela Taylor. That's the wrong name.
That's okay. I know it's Henrie. Spell Henrie.
Yeah, Henrie.
Great. Okay, so
It was Nelson once. So
was.
sorry.
You know what? You can own that. Okay, so walk me through your decision to adopt Diane. What was that like for you?
Well, when I've always been, we've always had children around and things like that. I always have, but when I got married, my husband and I couldn't have children, and so it was okay for a while. It was mostly okay, and then I decided that I really wasn't satisfied with somebody else's children, or with, my husband had been married before, and he had, I don't know, one or two children, and all much older, and I thought, I'm not happy, I'm not happy without a child. I want to have a child in my life. And my husband was older than me, and you can't just go in and say, oh, we're going to buy a child. It doesn't work. And so when it came out that there were some children, available, people were adopting, and I just said, I want to do that. I want to have a baby. I want to have a child, so let's adopt. And he said, yeah. I kind of, with a guy, you can kind of say, I want to do it, and he anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we decided to adopt, and then it took several months before we were able to make all of the arrangements and everything. And then when it came down to it, it was like, well, there aren't really any little children available, but we can help you, let you have another child, one that comes out of, and this one came out of India. And they said, we can do that, work that out. And so, sounds good to me, And so that's why we decided. We decided to get a child, and we knew that we didn't know anything, but we knew that she would be happy with us. We hoped she would be, that we would be able to give her all of everything that she needed, and I needed a baby. I needed a child in my life, and so that's kind of it.
So did you get a look at pictures of them or anything? You didn't even know what you were getting, basically.
No.
Did they tell you you were getting a little girl early on, or what do you remember from that?
I think he did. I think he did say a girl, but we didn't see any pictures. We didn't see, it was, and when the children came in on the plane, and we went and met the plane, which was in the, I don't know what, anyway, and the children got off, one at a time, and the man who had worked with getting the children there, when Diane got off, he said, "That's yours." that's your little girl. I said, fine. And took her by the hand and took her home.
How did that feel for you?
Well, it felt good. I felt like this was something that I wanted, and
I bet it was a little scary. I don't know. As a mom, you don't know who you're getting and what you're getting. I don't know.
well, that's what I had wanted, and and it was like, okay, whatever. She was a. My husband said, "Oh, the poor little thing." That was his reaction, because they were coming off the airport, and she was cold. I mean, she was, and he just said, "Oh, the poor little thing."
And what did you think?
I thought, this'll do. It'll be okay. I can, I knew I could take care of her. I knew that that's what I wanted, and here she is. And she was just tiny little thing. She was really, really malnourished and things. And anyway, so we took her home and tried to make a nice time for her. I had, we had toys and things what you get. We didn't have very many clothes because we didn't have any idea what size she would be in when we got her. But anyway, it was interesting. It was interesting.
And you had a new baby at this time too, didn't you?
I had gotten pregnant in the time that we had gotten, this is going to be your baby, and then I got pregnant.
Wow.
And it was incredible. It was really incredible. And Andrew and Diane loved it. I mean, they were so close. My little boy, Andrew, and they were so close. I always thought that they were. They always seemed so close to me, and they were always so good, and they, no fighting and things like, I mean, it was perfect. I wouldn't have chosen it any differently. If I could have said, oh, I think we'll have a little boy and then we'll have a little girl, and it just worked out. And I was happy. And Diane and Andrew got along really well. When he finally got big enough to be a companion to her, then
that was a fun thing. So
was.
You were an instant mom of two.
Yes.
Wow, that was a lot to take on.
Yeah, but it was.
But you were ready?
I was ready. I mean, I wasn't worried about it, or I can't do. It was time. I mean, it was good.
What about Diane's transition here? Because she didn't speak the language.
No, she didn't.
So talk to me about that.
Would say, put something up, give it a name, give it a word. She would repeat it. Yep, that's it. Another one, give it a word. Would say, I'd call something by its name, and she would say the name.
So she learned fast.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
And with Andrew there too. I mean, here is this baby, and so she had this baby to play with, and I don't know. I thought we couldn't have wanted it any different, because he loved her. I mean, he loved her from the second he saw her, and I think she loved him too, and they
helped each other?
Oh, constantly.
That's nice.
And yeah, it was neat. It was really a special time for me. From going having no children and then getting two at the same time, and it was special for me. And then they got along really well, and we were fortunate in that case too. We didn't have them fighting at each other and stuff like that. At least not that I knew of. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
So.
yeah. So watching Diane's journey, what are your thoughts?
Well, it makes me really sad. That she had to go through that. It makes me really sad. I knew, we were actually told before we by the man that was guiding us, he didn't tell us, how she had been, but he just kind of gave us the idea that she had been probably not handled well, and we could tell after we got her home when okay, I prepare a meal. My husband, Bob, we'd give her something, and he'd say, "Here, give it to me." And she would. No question about it. I mean, he'd be teasing her. You've got something, oh, num num, can I have it? And she would give it to him. And of course, he was just teasing her, and he would, and we'd give it. But she was so, she just she acted like she didn't feel like she could have anything or do anything, so it was, but Dad was just teasing. He's just teasing her. Make sure she got it back. I mean, it was just, but yeah. And, but where she liked the food, and she was able to, start to use our food and things like that. And it took Andrew a while, because he was still a baby, before he got, oh, and they played together so well. Oh, she loved him. He was such a, it was a fun thing for me to have these two children loving each other and playing for each other, and I was so glad that we had her for him. And then as they grew up, they did a lot of things together. They, like, for example, they learned how to clog dance, and both of them learned how to clog dance, and so they did. Diane danced and danced and danced. She was excellent dancer. Oh my word! And anyway, so, and the boys, Andrew, sometimes they'd be doing things together. Sometimes they'd perform this time and another one this. It was so
fun to watch. I bet a fun time to be a mom with them.
It was.
Sounds like.
It was great. I was so glad that I was really glad that we had something for Diane to learn to do and to do. I hoped that she was being happy, and that,
Did you see any of the hard things that she was going through with her friends, with her skin, with her being different? How did you handle that?
She didn't show me.
Yeah.
She did not show me things like that. I think that she didn't want to. She didn't want me to know. I don't know whether she didn't want. I just didn't know.
She kept a lot in then.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I tried. Well, you do the best you do what you think is right, but I really didn't know, or I probably would have beat some little kids to pieces.
Yep, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. It's like, I will go over and tear your head off if you
Yes.
mess with my little angel.
That's right, because because I didn't have that kind of a feeling toward her as somebody that didn't. I didn't even have to try. She was my daughter. When she walked off from that plane, I didn't have to put on any, can't find the word, but I didn't have to, because when she walked off that plane, she was mine.
And you loved her like a mother.
I did.
Yeah. And we all do our best, right?
Yeah.
Along the way. And
Yeah, and I know that. Unfortunately, I can't remember very much anymore. So I'm sure I did an excellent job.
Absolutely. We get to write our own narrative.
That's right. You get some of this stuff that, and I can remember.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, she was easy to love, and she loved my baby. So it was, it was easy for me to love her. You loved her too, didn't you? She was just a sweet little thing, and when she growing up, she was a sweet little child, and she was good to everybody. She treated all of the adults, at least. And like I said, and with Andrew, she loved him.
So her grandbabies, or her children became your grandbabies. That's a gift.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Anyway.
So, if you're not comfortable going here with me, that's fine. You just tell me. I just wanted to ask a little bit about Andrew and the loss of Andrew, and how that, her relationship with him was so strong. Your relationship with Andrew was so strong. How did that affect all of that? And if you're not comfortable,
Well,
that's fine.
I don't know that much about it, because Andrew was he was in he was military, and and he had been doing things for a while, and so he wasn't really involved with her family, especially before he died, and he was anyway, he was killed in an accident, and I really can't tell you. I really don't know. I don't know how she felt and how she was with him. I mean,
that must have been hard on you, though. I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. With the way I was feeling and the way I couldn't let anybody else in anyway. I mean, that may sound, but I couldn't let anybody in. It took me quite a while.
I can't even imagine, honestly.
Well, yeah. I had taken, with my Andrew. It had taken me quite a while to get him, and we had done so many things together. We'd gone clog dancing for years, and we went some places. We were in, was in New York, and we were in, I mean, we were just,
Traveled everywhere.
we
together.
traveled everywhere together, the two of us. I mean, two of us and his friends and, stuff. But I went together with him a lot. And I had waited so long to have a child. And I was so glad to have one, and then I got two. And by that time, after she kind of left anyway, but when he died, I don't even know how to explain it.
There are no words that can be said. I don't think. I'm so sorry for that.
I just.
Well, let's talk about.
Okay.
Do you need a tissue or something?
Yes.
I don't have any. But
I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. Here's a towel. Oops. There you go.
Okay. I'll stop crying.
Yeah, we'll change gears for a second.
I can even show you where he's buried.
Well, I want to talk a little bit now about Jesus Christ and his role in our life. As you've seen. Okay, let me take the towel from you. If you need it again, ask me and I'll pass it back to you. Yeah, let's talk about Jesus Christ and his role in all of this experience that we have in life, and seeing Diane's journey and kind of her heart turning to Christ, most recently, and kind of your experience with eternal life and knowing what there is. I mean, it's your birthday today, and we sometimes reflect on our birthdays. Sometimes we don't because we don't want to think about it. But do you have any words you want to share with me?
Do you have any idea that I have a physical problem with speaking? And then you want me to remember stuff?
What are your feelings about the Savior, if you're willing to share?
Well, I don't know how I can. Sometimes I don't say things very clearly, but I'm very. Okay, Jesus Christ is the most important person in my life. All that I have and all that I am are because of him. When I know that I was able to get my children because of the gift of the gift of Christ. I know that he loved me enough to know that I could do that. We had I I had the opportunity of working in the temple for several years, and which gave me even more of a a idea of what kind of a person he was. And when we were in the temple, it was so important for us to spend to feel of his love and to feel, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, but we would, my husband and I, we were workers in the temple, and we spent a lot of time helping other people, and then we got a chance to just be there and just feel Christ in our lives. And so I don't. So what? I don't know what I can say. Fortunately, my Andrew was gone by then, and Diane I thought was doing pretty good, and so I could spend time there and feel the gift of Christ in my life.
And you know, the atonement, I mean, we learn through the gospel that, you know, the atonement takes away our sins. It provides us comfort. It, you know, the atonement is so big. It carries so much weight in so many ways. How has the atonement been a part of your life? How has Christ's atonement impacted you?
Well, like I said, I had the opportunity of working in the temple, and in that opportunity, I learned a lot more than what I had just being, and I learned about Christ and what he has done for me. And he has given me my children and my parents. Not only that, but he has given me the ideas that I can be forgiven of my shortcomings, and I had such a wonderful opportunity to work in the temple and to spend time with people who come, and we talk about Jesus, and we talk about the things that he does for us. And I this stupid disease that I've gotten that won't let me think, but he's the most important person in my life, and I am grateful for him. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had of having children, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had of working in the temple and learning more about him.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, it's interesting. Our testimonies come at us like we're all on a journey, and we're all on this journey together. And our testimonies of Jesus Christ come at us at different points in our lives, and different things that happen to us, and you know, opportunities that we have, good and experiences that are bad and hard. But if we're able to feel his love in our lives in all of those realms, then it kind of propels us forward.
Yeah, you're right.
So, it's your birthday today. Do you have any reflective thoughts about anything that you want to share with me? If you got some wisdom for me, how old are you turning? You're turning 74. 74.
Is that what it is? I don't even remember. It feels like it. 87. Oh, any thoughts? No. Well, I've been very lucky. I had wonderful parents, as she would know. I had wonderful parents who, and I had a lot of children, a lot of brothers and sisters. There were 8 of us in the family. And my parents were good people and very righteous people. They, when they got a little bit older, then they worked in the temple for several years, a lot of years. And which was a good example of, and I have so many friends and so many good things in my life, children and yeah, and other people. Anyway.
Do you think the example, or how does the example of others, like in Diane's case specifically, because, you know, her path has been a little bit like that, you know, and she's kind of finding Jesus Christ. I mean, we have to always find him every day, like she mentioned in her talk, but how is the example of others help propel us to become better, do you think? To become better?
Well, that's the only way that you can learn to become better is by seeing other people and seeing what they do and how they're living, and otherwise it's just a blank slate, you know, just whatever. But you look at them and see, yeah, but look at wonderful things that they're doing with their life. And I want to do that. And I had the opportunity of working in the temple for several years, in the Manti Temple. And it was wonderful to be able to be there and see and just be in their temple and take the things into your heart, you know. It was wonderful, and I was glad to have that opportunity, even though it took so many hours and driving back and forth.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, this is my final question. Are you proud of the woman Diane's grown up to be?
Oh, I say.
But tell me about that.
Well, okay, so we want to do the woman, not the child or anything. There for a while I was maybe a little bit anxious. Not necessarily anxious, but she was always a sweet, loving person to me. But right now, she has found her way, and I'm really proud of her. Because it's hard. It's hard, and no matter how hard you try, sometimes it's really hard. And you've just taken care, you've done it, honey. And I'm proud of you. I really am. I'm proud of the girl that you've become. And the woman that you are becoming. I am. I'm proud of you, and I love you very much. That's all.
Well, Angela, you did a great job. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Are you okay? Do you need the towel? There's the towel.